Supervisor Dupree's meeting with State Representative Michael P. Sarah.
So I had a meeting with Mr. Piscaric, which we talked about me going to. I just wanted to say, just to avoid any misunderstanding from the public or anyone, when Mr. Piscaric reached out to Union Township, it's also my understanding that he reached out to all of the communities he represents, not just us for any particular reason. He's just reaching out to his communities that he represents. He wanted to offer his assistance with funding, or help with funding. The items that he put in the email to the township just happened to be 3 items that he was aware of, either because he lives in this community or because someone has reached out to him in passing or an email. And so those just happened to be 3 items he was aware of. His purpose was to maybe try to help, try to meet a representative from within each one of the communities he represents and offer help with maybe grant writing or private donations through community outreach programs that some of the corporations working within this area are offering. I left the meeting telling Mr. Piscaric that I would ask the board if it would be okay for Terry Gladys to find out if Harshman happened to have a dollar amount on the El Rima project that he had put in the email, and whether or not we wanted to make Terry a point person for Mr. Piscaric's office for, whether or not it's for that particular item that resident brought up or any of the others. He just wanted to offer up his help on possible help grant writing for LSA grants and otherwise, and that he had some corporations doing community outreach offerings, and whether or not that would be an option. I told him if it was a corporation or something doing business within our community, it would be better that I wasn't part of it in case they come before the board. So I was just passing on if the board would like Terry to be a point person and maybe reach out to him for what kind of funding or what kind of process that he's interested in helping us with. But the items that were on his letter just happened to be, he must have picked a couple from every community he represents. They weren't anything special, they just happened to be ones he knew about. So if the board is interested in having Terry Gladys reach out and see if there was any help with funding. But I was gonna put it in that, I was gonna take a step back and whether or not the board wanted Terry to proceed.
My opinion, I think it's great Mr. Piscaric reached out. He's a member of the community, and I would love if he would come to one of the meetings once in a while and present this himself or send an email to the board in full about some of these items. Yeah, I'm all ears. I would like some communication.
I don't have a problem with Terry contact him, means getting some funding.
He thought, like, the only reason he said if there was a item number, a dollar amount attached to that El Rima stormwater issue is that the outside funding, the community outreach funding could be very quick. But
Sean and I can work up the number real quick tomorrow, an accurate number, Terry, for that.
And I made Terry already some copies of the packet that he handed me for anybody who wants them. I brought them to her today when I came to the meeting.
Okay, great. Any other comments? Okay, any other questions or comments on that? No? Item 2, observing Supervisor Lawson